You've probably typed, "Does Minoxidil work for women?" into Google. Maybe your dermatologist recommended it, or maybe you've seen it all over TikTok. You've probably been avoiding it because you've heard the horror stories about shedding. So today's episode, we're going to separate the myth from the facts so you can make an informed decision, not one based on fear or on social media. So let's get started. Do you want healthy, full, manageable, natural hair in simple solutions, but struggle with finding safer options you can trust and want to take all of your time and energy to search? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Ashley, wife, mom, and Jesus BFF. I learned the secret of how to care for my hair and save time while maintaining it. Holistic care. So if you're ready for healthy hair, better health, and faith that helps you stay consistent, grab your comb, your brush, and your Bible, because it's time to grow. Hello, beautiful. Now, if you listened to my previous episode, then you know the whole scare story about what the PA said about me having androgenetic alopecia, where it comes from, and all the things. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then please pause this episode and go back and listen to it because it has a lot of great details. Now, I want to continue on with my story and talk about the treatment option she gave me. Yes, because she gave me some treatment options before I realized that I didn't have it to begin with. But the treatment was Minoxidil. And you may be wondering, what is Minoxidil? I'm here to tell you. So Minoxidil is an FDA-approved solution for hair loss. It stimulates hair follicles by extending the hair growth phase. So basically, it doesn't create brand new follicles, but it strengthens what's already there. So it's not like a magic formula or anything, but it works based on the environment that it's in. Now, who gets the benefit out of this? Well, anyone who experienced hair loss, early thinning. Sometimes it's even recommended to use as a stack-on treatment. So people use Minoxidil in addition to other products or other treatments to get the most benefit for their hair. So the question you want to ask yourself isn't, does this work, but does it make sense for what's causing thinning with my hair? And that was the question that I was asking myself that day when I was in the doctor's office. Now, before I went to the dermatology office, I was scrolling on TikTok and looking at Minoxidil, people that was getting all these fantastic results, and I wasn't looking too deep into it, but I was just seeing the results and I was like, well, for what's happening with my hair right now, maybe I need something a little bit stronger to help solve my hair issue. So I was looking into that and I was going to the doctor to see if it would be a solution for me. There are only two forms of Minoxidil out there. There's your oral and then there's your topical form. The topical treatment, this is available at all of your stores. You could get this at Walmart, your drugstores, anywhere there's a hair aisle. I'm sure you'll be able to find Minoxidil. Now, this is available at different percentages. You could get it at 2%, 5%, and I think I've seen somewhere where you could get it at 8%, but I mostly just see 2% and 5%. Now, the 2%, this is actually compared to rosemary oil. So if you're looking for a healthier alternative, then you could just shoot for rosemary oil. But now back to the Minoxidil. You could also get this at 5% as well. Whichever one that you choose, you just want to use it on the problem areas of your scalp. So you don't want to use this as a hair oil and use it all throughout your hair, but only focusing on those thinning areas when it comes to the topical solution. Then you have your oral treatment, which is your prescription, which you get from your dermatologist or your medical provider. Now, both of these, it could trigger some type of side effect. Orally, it can trigger hypertrichosis, which means excess body hair and facial growth, which is a no-no if you're a woman. It can also trigger lightheadedness, fluid retention, as well as elevated heart rate. And then if you choose to use the topical solution, some of its side effects is redness and scalp irritation, just to name a few. Now, what I also thought was interesting about this was that the original purpose for Minoxidil back in the 60s was for high blood pressure, and they saw that one of the side effects was actual hair growth, and so that's how they changed the purpose to what it is today. So yeah, that's just a little fact for you as well. Okay, so now that you made it to this part of the episode where we already talked about what is Minoxidil, who could benefit from it, topical versus oral treatment, now where do you fit in with all of this, Ashley? Okay, I'm glad we're up to date. So I'm in a dermatologist's office and I just find out about this androgenetic alopecia. And The Lord tells me later on that I was misdiagnosed, but however, I just found out about this androgenetic alopecia, and so now I'm learning about treatment options. She tells me a few, some that's kind of out of pocket right now with the PRP treatment, but then she tells me another option, which I could just go to the store and get some minoxidil and try it out and see if I have some results. It may or may not work. So after I get her okay, I go to the store and I pick it up, and it gets interesting, guys. Now, my experience, I feel like it got worse before it got better. The first thing that happened was the extreme shedding. Now, this varies from person to person. Not everyone experienced the same thing, but for me, I experienced a lot of shedding. The second thing that was happening was that I had an extreme flaky scalp. It didn't matter if I was using a comb or brush or even just using my hand to lightly touch my scalp. I would have so much flakes on my shirt, on my lap, and it would really gross me out, but I knew that was a part of the solution that was taking effect. So around the end of month 1, the beginning of month 2, that's when I started noticing little peach fuzz around the thin areas. And that's when I knew that it was starting to work. It was very tiring, but I was starting to see results. Now remember that I said that if you use the oral prescription, it has a way it could trigger a word called hypertrichosis in your body, which is excess body hairs and facial hair growth, which no, we do not want that. And so that's why I went the topical route, because I wanted to avoid it at all costs. I didn't want it to get into my bloodstream and cause all of those other side effects. And so that's why I went the topical route. And doing this, it was very good at first. I only applied it to the problem areas, nowhere else. And I also paid attention to what time I was applying it. I made sure to apply it like earlier in the day versus towards the end of the day, because I didn't want to take that chance of it being all over my pillow and then it get all over my face. So I was really being mindful of all the things as I was using the topical solution. And by the end of month 1, the beginning of month 2, I started to see good results. So I started noticing hairs in those problem areas, which was great. But then I also started noticing hairs in other areas as well. Like my eyebrows started thickening, as well as I started noticing more hairs on my forehead. Then I started noticing longer sideburns. And then I noticed a little mustache. Like I really started getting hairy, and I was like, I'm not putting the solution anywhere in those places. Why am I getting hairy all over? Now, I was also doing stacking treatments. So I was using minoxidil on top of some other things. Like I was also starting to look into my nutrition and really pay attention to my hormones, all of this stuff. So I guess everything was aligning, and that was the result of it. And so once I started to see that, I had to bring it to my PA attention, the physician assistant attention. And I was like, what is happening? She was like, well, it shouldn't get into your bloodstream, so there's no reason that minoxidil will be the cause of it. But I was noticing it during this time as I was using the solution. So that was pretty annoying. Now, after having those kind of results, I went back to the dermatology office and I told the PA, yeah, I am done with that. That is a no for me. I was already planning to get off of it anyway. I just wanted to experiment and see what kind of result I would get. But now that I see, I am done. It works and I'm good. So that was it. One thing I want you to be mindful of, whether it's using a hair oil or you're using minoxidil, is that your consistency matters. Our hair already grows at a certain rate. And when it comes to minoxidil, if you miss any of those applications of using it daily, then you could be missing out on the result that you're trying to achieve versus someone else that's been using it consistently and they start to see results. Because the whole point of restoring your hair is about staying consistent long enough to see if the product actually works. Now with minoxidil, if you stop using the treatment completely, I'm talking about cold turkey, then this could cause your hair follicles to return to its pattern, its original pattern. So you can't just quit cold turkey. You have to come up with a game plan. And when I told the PA that I was getting off, I didn't quit that day, but I actually had a game plan of how I was going to get off of it, because I knew if I had any hair follicles that were stimulated through minoxidil, there would be a chance that I could lose it. So in order to retain it, I had to come up with a plan. So that's what you also want to be mindful of when it comes to this. So now if you're considering talking with your doctor and really figuring out if minoxidil should be a part of your treatment plan, then I highly suggest that you also come with some questions as well so you can have a more thorough discussion with them. Questions like, what type of hair loss do you think I have? Why are you recommending minoxidil for me? Should I consider topical or oral therapy? What side effects should I watch for? How long before we evaluate whether it's working? What happens if I stop? Should I also investigate nutritional, hormonal, or other contributing factors? Minoxidil may be the right choice for some women. It may not be the whole answer for others. Hair thinning is often more complex than one product or one prescription. The goal isn't simply choosing a treatment, but understanding what's contributing to your hair changes and building a plan you can actually stick with. Maybe you've been asking yourself, should I take minoxidil? Should I take supplements? Is it my hormones? Is it stress? Well, the longer you stay in uncertainty, the longer you delay taking meaningful action. You don't have to keep piecing together advice from Google, social media, and countless product reviews. Understanding your hair starts with understanding your unique story. If you're ready to stop guessing and start moving forward with confidence, I want to invite you to book a holistic hair and wellness session. Together, we'll look at the bigger picture, discuss your concerns, and help you identify your next steps that makes the most sense for you. And if you're not quite ready for a session, I love to stay connected. Join my hair and wellness community where you'll receive weekly tips, practical education, and encouragement to help you better understand your hair and support your overall wellness one step at a time. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you please take 30 seconds and share with a friend who may want to care for their hair without overwhelm and confusion? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It lights me up to feel the love when I know the podcast is helping you. Well, I'm off to care for my crown, drink my water, and stop touching my hair. I'll meet you back on Tuesday for another quick episode. Love ya!